Good evening and welcome to the Business Day. I am Vashan Brown. Now, regional stakeholders say Caribbean businesses will be forced to change how they operate to comply with global environmental standards and climate action goals. Now, the perspective was part of discussions during a recent forum put on by the Jamaica National Agency for Accreditation. Javon Keys reports.
Caribbean businesses have been significantly prone to weather and climate change related shocks, and with global temperatures and sea level rise projected for the coming decades, the region's businesses are being urged to find ways to adapt.
According to the World Travel and Tourism Council, the Caribbean is the most tourist intensive region in the world. They predict that the Caribbean will become the most at-risk tourist destination in the world between 2025 and 2050.
Industry Minister Audley Shaw says about 90% of Jamaica's income is earned in coastal areas, making the need for sustainable strategies to be implemented. Director General of the Caribbean Hotel and Tourism Association, Frank Comito, says market demands will force regional players to spend on resilient infrastructure.
The traveler is becoming increasingly more conscious of their environmental footprint, of their impact on where they go, and they also want to experience things differently than they have in the past. So that shift, I think, is going to begin to drive even greater behavioral changes by the businesses as well.
But the cost for resilient transitioning has generally been a deterrent for businesses. Program Officer for the United Nations Environment Program's Cartagena Convention Secretariat, Christopher Corbin, says this is where strategic partnerships come in.
That's where we need to promote more South-South cooperation within the region, within the Caribbean, but also with our colleagues in the Pacific and elsewhere. And that's where UNEP and the UN agencies and these global platforms that exist really allow us to bring some of our issues to the global table.
Mr. Corbin says the establishment of standards and accreditation processes will aid the process. Javon Keys, TVJ News.
The JC Index advanced by 2,511 points today, while the Junior Market Index gained 32 points. Among the winners were Palace Amusement, 138 Student Living Variable Preference Shares, Medical Disposables and Supplies, Express Catering, and T-Tech. On the losing side were Sterling Investments US dollar shares, Kingston Properties, Epley Limited 8.25% shares, AMG Packaging and Paper Company, and Stanley Motor Ordinary shares. Currency trading ended today with the US dollar selling for $151.06. The Canadian dollar sold for $124.06. The pound costs $213.61, while the euro closed at $183.42. And that's the Business Day. I am Vashan Brown. Have a good evening.